Hey folks, welcome back to another edition of Know Your Pros presented by Opali. We are here today with a great guest. We've got Ian Lashley of the Lashley Group. He's part of TLG Business Brokerage and the Lashley Group Residential Real Estate. They serve folks here in Ventura and down into LA County as well. Ian, it's fantastic to have you.
Henry, thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Of course. Well, you're a local guy. You're a good friend of my partner, Jamie, here at the company. And what I wanted to do today is kind of dive into the why you went into business for yourself. You've got a brokerage and a real estate firm. So what was the why there? How did you get started? Give me the story.
Sure. Previous to this life, I had a retail store in in LA that was sort of men's contemporary streetwear during the early 2000s. After the recession, and this was a physical store and an online presence as well. I ended up shutting the store down. I think it was about 2009. I kind of kept going with the online side of it, but it was rather difficult. So I ended up selling to a Canadian undergarment company, and they made the purchase pretty much based on the customer list. So I used a broker through that process, and that's how I was introduced to the industry. I hadn't heard of a business broker previous to that. I had a wonderful broker out of Sunbelt, and after that transaction, I actually became a broker with Sunbelt. So that's how I jumped into the business.
I mean, that's a neat story, man. And business brokerages, that's not really something I'd heard of before, but I hear in my conversations with customers all the time, yeah, I'm thinking in the next 5, 10 years, I'm trying to sell my business. We're always thinking about what we're going to do with our exit plan. And a guy like you is super important to that. On the real estate side, why real estate? You're in business with your wife as well. So tell us a little bit about that company.
Yeah, so we're a small boutique brokerage. So it's myself as the broker, my wife as the agent. I was working as an agent under Sunbelt and then national, and then I decided to get my broker's license, which is, it's the Department of Real Estate, the DRE, that oversees both business brokerage and residential real estate, or any real estate. And so I was a broker for a while. And again, once I got my broker's license, which was probably about 5 years into the business, my wife sort of approached me with the idea of maybe becoming an agent under me and maybe doing some residential real estate. Her father was a broker for many years in LA and sort of gave us, he was retired, but gave us some great tips and kind of sort of pushed us along a little bit. So we had both arms, the residential real estate with a little property management, and then the business brokerage side. So we've been doing that together for all these years. Well, it's since 2010. And I think we started residential real estate probably in about 2014, 15. So yeah.
It's really cool that you've got two sides to the business. Before we kind of started recording here, you talked about how things ebb and flow and sort of flow into the residential real estate side, back over to the business brokerage side. So, I mean, you've got a great setup. Mm-hmm. You're a local guy. There's a family element to this business that you run. Why are people who are looking to either sell or buy a business or sell or buy a home, what's the difference they're going to get when they call Ian and Jamie, versus any other experience they might have out there?
Sure. Well, I think we have a little bit more of an updated approach, I like to say. I'm much more hands-on. One of the things I think a lot of compliments that we get is that we're sort of down to earth and personable for being a business broker. Not to say that the industry is a little bit on the older side, but maybe we look at ourselves as sort of the transition into sort of the new era, maybe. So I think that's been working really well for us. And I think that's what we sort of have to offer. Also, the very hands-on, boutique brokerage, ability to sort of hold someone's hand through the process. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like a dude who's, easy to trust, simple to get along with, and you're text friendly. I'm looking at your reviews online, and it's nothing but great stuff. Um, Tells the great story.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Well, Ian, last thing I got for you here. Where can we get in touch with you, whether it's for brokerage or real estate? Give us the lowdown.
Sure. Yeah, on the residential side, we really, the corporation is the Lashley Group Inc. So our residential real estate side is the LashleyGroup.com. The business brokerage side is TLGBusinessBroker.com. And of course, the TLG stands for the Lashley Group. So depending what you're interested in, you can visit either of those sites and kind of learn more about us and about the process and how we operate and some of the past sales and all that good stuff.
Beautiful. Well, time's up here for us. That's been another edition of Know Your Pros. Ian, thank you for being a guest with us.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Henry. This has been fun.
Beautiful. Talk soon.